What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes, and this time I'm with my friend Ghast and we're going to be talking about the sacred seals which we want in the game.
Yeah, sacred seals has been a really hot topic lately because, the sacred coins have come in and, there's so much discussion about what would be a really cool boost to have on your units as a sacred seal. You can upgrade them now, you can create your own. There's exclusive sacred seals now, like deflect seals. So there's really a lot to talk about here, and there's a lot of anticipation. And Phoenix and I came up with a little list of our own, what we think would be pretty cool sacred seals to have. So we have a list here. And we're just gonna chat about it.
Yeah, because recently we got Brash Assault skill, which is a pretty niche skill, and it actually has become a really good skill with Desperation. Like, I'm sure you have seen like the quad sets with Desperation and Brash Assault, which people have been running, Ghast.
Yeah, and that's really the thing that I really like about Sacred Seals now, is that it takes formerly like niche skills that if you applied them in the normal ABC slots, it would really kind of nerf you, in the sense that a lot of these, like Brash Assault, is so niche because, first of all, you have to there's an HP threshold involved, and second, like, you have to be fighting an enemy that can counterattack. So like, you have to deal with these situations to have Brash Assault proc, whereas if you had other B skills like a Breaker or any Desperation or anything like that, it's more universal, and it's less specific. And if you have Brash Assault instead, like, you're kind of handicapping yourself in the sense that that skill is going to proc less often than other ones. So the really fun thing about the Sacred Seals is that you can take formerly less useful skills and now give them a purpose, which is really cool.
Yeah, and with Brash Assault, the problem was that you have to make sure that your unit can actually survive the counterattack of your opponent. But now with Desperation, it can become an instant attack, so that's really good.
For sure.
And yeah, and Guidance also is a really good skill, which was an exclusive skill. So that's another thing which we have to note, that Intelligent Systems can release Sacred Seals, which are exclusive skills to 5-star units. So because of Guidance, armored units are much more viable now.
Yeah, I'm really pumped. When I made that the Black Knight with Desperation and Life and Death, I was like, man, if I had Guidance, he could actually move around and be like mobile. And now that Guidance is an actual thing, it's like, oh wow, I can try this out and see how successful it is. Maybe it's not gonna be good, but it's worth a try doing. I feel like it's worth experimenting on now because I have a way to get Guidance, which it's like, good luck me getting a Tana.
Yeah, that was really hard actually when her banner came out, because there are so many blue units in the sample space.
Yeah.
So the first skill that I have is Infantry Pulse. Now, Infantry Pulse is also an exclusive skill to a 5-star unit, and that unit is Summer Xander. And Summer Xander himself isn't really a groundbreaking unit, and people, like most of the whales, only really pulled him because of his Infantry Pulse, and now Summer Xander is gone. So Infantry Pulse is such a good skill. It reduces your special trigger cooldown by 1, and that's quite useful for like some of the specials like Igneous, Glacies, and the AoE specials. And I'm pretty sure if we had Infantry Pulse as a Sacred Seal, we will see more usage of those longer cooldown specials. What do you think, Ghast?
Like, Quicken Pulse is something that kind of reminds me a lot of Infantry Pulse, in the sense that, like, that -1 right at the beginning, especially for like Grand Hero battles and those sort of and special maps like that, if you have that extra boost, it can be like a total game changer for your strategy.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's why it just like I said, basically that's all I have to say about it. It's like, it can be a total game changer, and like, the more options you have with pulse skills, the more damage you can do, for sure.
Yeah. And in Tempest Trial and Chain challenges, it could be super useful, where you have to choose between Quicken Pulse, where you have to reduce the cooldown of your own unit, or you could choose between Infantry Pulse, where your cooldown does not get reduced, but you can reduce the cooldown of other allies. So that would be a fair trade, I think.
Yeah. the more options you have to get your specials off quicker is just gonna make your life easier, I find.
Indeed.
Yeah. So after Infantry Pulse, Savage Blow is another one that we thought of. And the cool thing about I always had an affinity for Savage Blow ever since Fate. I don't know if it was an Awakening. I don't think it was. I think
it was not an Awakening.
It was not an Awakening. Yeah, Savage Blow is a skill that I found was really, really, really fun to use in Fates, but it kind of took a back seat in Heroes, because when you get to like the more high level content of Heroes, everyone's HP is so high that like you're like the 7 extra damage against the other enemies, it feels more marginal, and like it's very basic chip damage in my opinion. Like there's not a lot going on. Like a Savage Blow isn't really going to be a huge game changer for the most part, but if Savage Blow was a Sacred Seal, then you're just getting that extra damage without sacrificing a C slot. And C slots are usually pretty flexible anyway, but most C slots are dedicated towards like Hones or
Ploy, or like nowadays.
Yeah, Ploys, Threatens, things that like reduce or increase character buffs and stuff. So Savage Blow, you couldn't do that anymore, but Savage Blow would be it's just an extra damage dealer, which is always nice. Yeah, that's why I found Savage Blow could be definitely a cool one to have, just for that extra usefulness for a niche skill like Savage Blow compared to the other C skills.
Yeah, it would be super useful for like low attack units. They can have a utility, right? Yeah. And then I've got Close Defense. Now, Close Defense, if we have got Distant Defense, then why not have Close Defense? Close Defense is amazing skill, and Close Defense can be really good with a lot of the enemy phase units who have to have more attack, but they would like the bulk. For example, Beruka, Tsubaki, stuff like these units. They can obviously run Fortress Defense and stuff like that, but they lose out on attack. So other skills can be run to increase their attack for slotty, and then you can run Close Defense to increase their bulk. So I definitely think that Close Defense should come, and I definitely think that in upcoming months they're going to be releasing Close Defense, I think.
It's definitely a possibility. Like you said, Distant Defense is already a thing, and I've seen a handful of people like utilize Distant Defense and max it out. So Close Defense seems like a predictable come up.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when Distant Defense is actually a better skill than Close Defense, because it's harder to take hits from range units than melee units.
Yeah, Close Defense would... I feel like Close Defense would like come in so clutch towards the end. I remember one time I was in the arena and like there was a Tiki with Close Defense, because she comes with a Close Defense.
Yeah,
and it got so down to the wire, because like I straight up couldn't deal a lot of damage to her. It was a pain. It was a total pain. But Close Defense would be a really solid one, just to add that extra bulk. Next on the list, I have Defiant Attack, but I guess any Defiant would work. I find Defiant, when you apply, since Defiant is an A skill, you are losing a lot of potential, because a lot of A skills aren't niche in the sense that they don't have HP thresholds, like Death Blow and all the blows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Fury. I mean, the boost ones, they have HP thresholds, but it's not like, it's like the more HP you have, not like the less HP you
Still,
have.
it's more consistent than Defiant skills in a sense.
Yeah, the issue with Defiant skills is like, while like they're good in the sense that like they come out in the clutch, they're also bad in that sense, because it's a double-edged sword in the sense that you have to be like damaged for it to be activated.
Yeah.
So it's very specific on when you can use Defiance, and you won't be able to utilize these Defiant skills in the beginning of your fights, because you have to be like in the red zone.
Yeah, they're not dependable skills because of that.
Yeah, exactly. So but if they're seals, then you have that freedom of like the more universal and more universal A's. But once you get down to the wire and you don't have any hone or any support units that are giving you that buff, if there's only 1 or 2 units left in your arena or something like that, you can utilize the boosts from the Defiance, and because like Defiant, I think you mentioned that Defiants don't stack with Hones or something like that, right?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why people do not run Defiant skills, because you cannot stack them up with like Hone attack, Hone speed. So what's the point? So that's why people use Death Blow and stuff like that, Darting Blow, which can actually be stacked up with other passive skills. So yeah, Defiant attack could just be like a fallback option. Hey, if I'm below 50% HP, I can use this.
Yeah,
then.
Exactly. So in really hairy situations, you still have that A skill, but you also have like a pocket, attack boost or a pocket defense boost, which I personally have an affinity towards Defiant skills. I think the idea of them being like you're really getting struggled, but you get that extra buff because your HP is down. I think it's a pretty cool concept. I just think you're giving up too much by using it as an A skill.
Definitely, because they're not consistent.
For sure.
Yeah. And then I've got Shield Pulse. So Shield Pulse is a slot B skill which Saber can give, and we all know how much crowded the red sample space is for red units, and it's really hard to get Saber. So Shield Pulse is a pretty nice niche skill, but the problem with that is you have to run a special that is defensive. You lose out on the option of running offensive specials. So in that case, if you're running something so niche, then it just feels like pretty wrong to have not have something like Quick Riposte, Desperation, or something like that. And for defensive units, you're of course going to be having Quick Riposte. So this skill is better for defensive units. So if they can make this as a Sacred Seal, then we can have Quick Riposte as slot B and Shield Pulse as a Sacred Seal. So that could just move the defensive play even more. Like, I'm pretty sure, Gas, you have noticed this, that nowadays intelligent systems have been promoting more defensive play, especially with the release of Sigurd on how he can tank hits, and Brave Ike. So defensive play is definitely getting some limelight, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely getting some love, for sure. The Black Knight, who, like, his kit is dedicated towards, like, just taking a bunch of damage.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, Siggy is also good for that. Even Deirdre, Deirdre is like the first character with Quick Riposte that's prereq Quick Riposte, and she's like, she can double blues and stuff, or she can just double anyone who attacks her. So there's definitely an emphasis on more defensive play and, exploiting the AI and setting yourself up for success. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Klein also has Quick Riposte, but the thing is that Klein is just like a player phase unit, so yeah, Deirdre can definitely make use of Quick Riposte like by default. Yeah.
Quick Repulse on Klein is like, but then you're not hitting twice with the Brave Bow. You technically are hitting twice, but like you're not Brave Bow hitting twice type thing.
Yeah, true.
For sure. So the next one I thought of, and my last three are kind of like, I just like, they're a little bit jokey, not really. I mean, I have Pass, and I think Pass is like fun. It's a fun skill to use. I enjoy using Pass, but it's, again, like, it's one of those things where you're sacrificing a lot because B skills are like super clutch. Like, they're super important. B skills are like, I find B skills can just totally change the game. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Between A, B, and C, I don't know about you, but I think B is like probably like more important than A.
Yeah, it definitely defines a unit. Like, if you run Quick Riposte, Renewal, Very Fighter, Vantage, stuff like that, or a Breaker Weapon.
Yeah, like a lot can change with the B skill. So when you use Pass, you're losing out on all that. But like, if Pass would be a Sacred Seal, then you can just swim through enemies, and just like your ability to just attack more people and not be blocked off by enemies and stuff. I mean, of course, Pass is still pretty niche because the maps themselves are phone size screen. They're short, they're small maps. So, Pass is, you also have to deal with Pass not really being a big deal even when you can use it, because if you're a horse guy, you can't you still can't pass through woods, but you can still pass through like a guy in your way. You can just deal. The fun of Pass, it just seems like you can just have a lot of fun with it. And
yeah, definitely, it's a bonus skill.
Yeah, it's a nice perk to have, I think, being able to cut through units without losing out on a B skill. And that's sort of like, you know, the entire the theme about our lists is that like these are skills that are otherwise very uncommon.
Yeah, some of them are really, really niche, like Defiant Skill, Savage Blow, and the Shield Pulse, of course.
Yeah, and finding value in these ones is like the fun of it. And I think Pass is a fun skill, but it's you're losing a lot. So if it's a Sacred Seal, then you're having that extra perk, which I think is like the charm of Sacred Seals for sure.
It's not defining for a unit if you run that as a slot B, because I don't know why they made this a slot B skill. Like, it just gets outmatched so hard. But as a Sacred Seal, we might see some usage. Like, of course, Reinhardt could run this, but then again, he will have to give up on Quicken Pulse Moonbow. So Pass can be run on Reinhardt, and he can just pass through stuff like Daedra, Julia, and like green mages who are there to stop him and just smash a unit.
Yeah.
That would be, that could be something. And then I've got Renewal. Renewal would be so nice, especially with Falchion users and stuff like Arvis, who has got Recovering, and armored units can definitely make really, really good use of that. And I'm pretty sure, Gas, you feel this, that intelligence systems have been pushing more infantry and armored meta, like with Dalthia's Dark Aura, with Guidance, and with like Guidance Sacred Seal. They have definitely been pushing the armored and infantry meta, especially with Armor March.
Yeah, even just like sustainability is something that has been kind of a I don't want to say like a new idea for like units, but I feel like the emphasis, like we said before, defensiveness, but also sustainability, which is something else. I think, like Arvis has the Recover Ring, and I feel like you can be more creative with builds that are like the Doctor builds, like
definitely the medic builds for Tempest Trial and Chain challenges.
Yeah, and those are fun. Those are fun builds because it first of all, it makes healer units like more irrelevant than before. But
poor guys.
Yeah, poor healers. My gosh. But yeah.
Very Fighter with Renewal would be just really, really good. And like we were saying, like a few months back, the meta was really much more one-round KO oriented. Like it still is to a certain point with Reinhardt and Bravelyn, but I definitely feel like they are pushing a bit more defensive play into the game with these new units and skills. So that's why I think Renewal would be really good. Falchion users will get their own niche, like Lucina, Marth, have been pretty washed out ever since units like Ira and stuff like that came out. Like offensively, they get outmatched, but with Falchion, they have got their own niche, which is being a passive healer. Renewal can help them with that, and Renewal can make any kind of unit a passive healer if you run Ardent Sacrifice or Reciprocal Aid. So yeah, Renewal Sacred Seal would be just amazing. It has good synergy with Fury, so that would be really good. Yeah,
that's true. It does. It does do. So along the theme of Pass, I also have Obstruct. I love Obstruct. I think it's one of the funnest trolley skills ever. I've been on the receiving and giving end of Obstruct. Same idea as Pass in the sense that like Obstruct is even more obscure than Pass, I find, because Obstruct is like you have to like I feel like Obstruct would be really fun to use in special maps because you understand and it can be part of your strategy, like blocking off enemies coming in and being able to, you know, be sort of like a distraction for AI while your other units are doing other things, and manipulating the AI that way. I just think Obstruct it's a funny concept, but it's so rare, and like the launch units who have Obstruct, it makes it so bizarre. Hannah and like Corrin just really and I mean, of course, Stall is the most fitting unit.
Yeah, Stall. That's what I was about to say. In Legion's Grand Hero Battle, using Obstruct Stall was actually a viable strat, which people did. Yeah, because Obstruct, like Stall is so defensive, and he has the Ruby Sword, and Obstruct just like completely plugs up greens. So that a similar strategy, just with like other colored units and stuff, I think would make Obstruct pretty fun to use in special maps. Yeah, definitely. It can have a lot of in-game use.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you remember in Boundary Battle of Eric and Ephraim, Ephraim had Obstruct, and it could get annoying because you would not be able to escape in time because of his Obstruct.
Yeah. I was doing a video with Sage during a Tempest Trials, and I got like surprise obstructed. It's one of those like sneaky skills where you're gonna move on and beat the enemy, but then you're like, what's going on here? I can't move. And you check out friggin' Gwendolyn, and she has obstruct, and you're like, why even? And then you have to deal with obstruct. It's one of those like sneaky trolly skills that's just fun to use.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the fun skills which can have a lot of in-game use actually. Yeah, it could open up some strategies for Boundary Battles and Grandeur Battles, definitely.
For sure.
Yeah, and for my last skill which I want is Dazzling Staff. Now, Dazzling Staff was a skill on Brylin, and she's not here anymore, and I'm not really sure if she's gonna return back or not. And even if she does, we still do not know if she'll be added into the regular pool or not. So Dazzling Staff would be really good. It gives a niche to healers. They can definitely run Wrathful Staff as their slot B skill or Live to Serve, and also have Dazzling Staff as a secret seal, so they can safely poke units with the help of their Pain's staff or even the Slow Staff, debuff the enemies and do stuff like that, and just be all around safe units in the player phase. Because I'm pretty sure, Gas, you have experienced this, that you cannot initiate attack with healers too much because their damage output is low and they can get killed on counter attack.
Yeah, they're like as if healers were. I mean, they get already nerfed. Like the fact that Wrathful Staff has to exist to make like healers do damage it's such a kick in the teeth for healers. They need something. Like they need help. Healers need help.
Yeah.
And if Dazzling Staff and if that could, if anything is useful for a heal, like anything you can give to a healer at this point is just, come on, just please make healers relevant in 2018. Come on now.
Yeah, Dazzling Staff Sacred Seal would be really good, actually.
And my last pick is Guard. If you want to talk about really niche skills, I find Guard pretty niche for a B. Because the HP threshold is like really, really high in the sense that you have to it has to be really early on in the map to get Guard going, and it's a skill that like requires you to like probably take damage at the beginning. So if you get hit and like you have Guard 3, you need to have like 4/5 of your HP or higher to keep it going. So I feel like it has a very short shelf life when you're using it, but at the same time, it could be a lifesaver if you're dealing with an enemy who's really close to proccing their special, and you can just kind of mangle that for at least a turn and delay the death of like someone.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would help with Arvis, but just the fact that like Arvis. Like the second Arvis was already ready to proc his like Rising Flame or whatever.
Yeah,
or Growing
in
Flame.
Special maps, yeah.
Yeah, and if there was a way to like just like take that down a notch by just for like one charge, especially with those special maps or anything really, to just lower them without sacrificing too much of yourself, because I feel like using Guard like does more damage for you than it, like unit build wise, it's probably more detrimental to have Guard than not have Guard.
Yeah,
because,
true.
Yeah, I mean it's just like all the rest of it, like you're sacrificing too much for such a specific thing. But if you have it as a Sacred Seal, then you have that extra, perhaps game changer, or just extra like changer. An extra, screw you Arvis type thing. So that's why I think Guard would be pretty nifty skill to have as a pocket Sacred Seal.
Even in the recent Infernal Ursula map, if you notice, Ursula's special trigger cooldown is at 1, and she has an OU special, which is like gonna blow you up, so that can be used. And yeah, Guard only had its relevancy because of Quick and Pulse Moonbow Reinhardt, and it's kind of useful because Steady Breath is pretty good skill, but it's not really that common, so Guard can be useful in that regard.
Yeah. And the last, we have some honorable mentions here. You want to get that started?
Okay, so my honorable mention is gonna be shield skills like Io Shield, Granny Shield, and maybe in future Naga Shield, which protects poor dragons from getting nuked by Julia and Deirdre. So I feel like shield skills are pretty niche, but it can be really useful, especially for Fire Emblem teams. Like you can have a bulky unit like Beruka, Tsubaki, Michalis, stuff like that, and have them have Io Shield, and they can survive the meta threat known as Brave Lyn, but they cannot retaliate back. So if you run Io Shield, then you miss out on the option of running Distant Counter, and Fire Emblem, as it is, Fire Emblem is a pretty hard emblem team to make because there's just so many exclusive skills locked behind the banners. So that's why I think these shield skills would be pretty good as Sacred Seals.
Yeah, it's definitely something that would be an extra boost, especially to Flyer and Armor Emblem, because I think Fire Emblem more because bows are so common.
Yeah,
like,
it's just so hard.
It's like they're so like Flyers are so exposed to like weaknesses and stuff. Like not only would like Michalis be exposed to like red mages, but also bows, which are just everywhere. Everyone has a bow or a brave anyone. Brave bow anyone. It's just so common. So anything that could like save Fire Emblem, please.
Yeah, because I definitely think that Fire Emblem is definitely the hardest emblem team to get, because you've got Hone Flyers locked behind Hinoka at 5-star, then you've got these special Mage Flyers which are only there on the special maps. Like they haven't even released a Versa. So yeah, Fire Emblem definitely will appreciate that, because they'll be able to run Distant Counter units. And yeah, you can say that Distant Counter is just too much investment, but you have to remember that Fire Emblem is not a very cheap emblem skill to build like Hearts Emblem. So I think that could help.
Yeah. I also threw in for an honorable mention Valor skills, because I just think they're fun to use to like grind. It seems like a kind of a trivial reason to put, but I just like Valor, and I think they give that extra boost. If you're on a Tempest Trials and you have a bonus character, then you're giving them a ton of experience and a ton of whatever. Or if you're just doing a double SP weekend and you want to just keep the grind going and you want to go high level and you just want to keep going, then you have that extra boost in the Valor Tome. I mean, of course, the like Valor for Sacred Seal, like Valor and like those bounty skills are so useless after the grinding aspect. But I just like, I mean, there's not really much to say about it. I just think, you know, Valor would be, I mean, it might be kind of a waste of Sacred Seals or Sacred Coins, but I think Valor would be pretty neat to put on for grinding just more efficiently, I suppose. But
actually, I think your idea is great of Valor skills, because if you notice, every Valor unit is a 5-star exclusive unit.
Yeah, you're right.
So like it's like you're forced to summon on that banner just because you want to grind in future. So
yeah,
that's really tough.
Yeah.
And some of the Valor skills were on like exclusive special units.
Yeah. Like
Summer Tiki and Summer Elise, which are not here anymore, and soon to be Shigure, who has Blue Tome Valor.
Yeah. But like even like Valor 1, it gives 1.5 SP. So like the investment of like you're spending like probably what 50 or 20 sacred coins, but like you just have a unit, or you just have the flexibility of really pushing the grind time a lot quicker, because you can get SP much faster, which I feel like is an even trade. I don't really enjoy grinding that much. It's one of the aspects of Fire Emblem Heroes that I don't like that much. So any way to get that done quicker is fine in my books. I'd be willing to spend the sacred coins for it.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people will, because Valor skills are so nice. And especially with a mode like Squad Assault, where you need a lot of units, it could definitely help.
Yeah, makes it a lot.
Not Squad Assault, Arena Assault.
Makes the process go by much quicker. And the last One was Wings of Mercy. We just kind of joked about this one because like Wings of Mercy 3 as a Sacred Seal would just be like so. I apologize for swearing, but oh my god, like
Yeah, this is a Christian channel.
Wings of Mercy on like the Black Knight, freeing up that B skill and putting in like just typical armor Bs like Vantage or something or whatever. Just making it so impossible to like deal with armors that way because now they have so much mobility and they're also like a pain in the ass. So
yeah, but we never know. Intelligent systems could do it. They have been doing things which we thought they would not do, but here we are.
yeah,
so
anything is
knows?
possible. Literally anything.
They just want to see the world burn.
Yeah.
With the power creep and stuff.
Yeah, I love it. It's so, I'll be honest, it's like actually inspiring to see them just have like no regard for anything sometimes and just do whatever they want and like you just have to deal with it, man. Like you have to adjust. You have to adjust to what intelligence systems wants to put in. If they want to put in guidance, deal with it. If they want to throw in like Vantage as a Sacred Seal, deal with it, man. Like
oh my god, Vantage.
Yeah, so it's just that craziness, and Sacred Seal adds a lot more. It adds depth, it adds fun, it adds customization. It's one of those new things to anticipate in the game.
Yeah, that's why we have Wings of Mercy as honorable mention, because we know if we put that in our actual list, people would just find us and kill us because they just hate Wings of Mercy in Arena.
Why don't you just put in Death Blow as a Sacred Seal? Jeez. Yeah. So, that was our list.
Yeah, and hopefully we can have some of these skills come into the game, and we can say that we predicted them.
Yeah, predicting.
Yeah,
predicting in Fire Emblem Heroes is a pretty crazy statement, I guess. It's impossible to. It's really hard to predict in Fire Emblem Heroes. Oh my god.
Yeah. So
can't even.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say you can't really do it unless you're Favaro, who is like a prophet and has connections. I suppose we can. I guess we're done this. I mean, we have plans for other video topics, but I mean, yeah, I think it's yeah.
Yeah, Gas and I are going to be doing more videos, and you guys should definitely check out his channel. I am in love with his support sign series. I think that's a great series, and you guys should definitely check it out. It's so entertaining, and you learn so much more about these units if you're passionate about Fire Emblem as a whole. His link is going to be in the description down below. Please be sure to check him out, and let us know like which Sacred Seals you guys want to see in the game, and which of these you think will make from this list of ours. So yeah, do you want to say anything, Gas, at the end?
No, man. Thanks for having me. Really excited to just, talk about more hero stuff. I love chatting up heroes with you because you're like super knowledgeable and stuff, and it's just fun talking about the game and with somebody who's like very knowledgeable and I can just build off that. So yeah, thanks for having me, guys. And yeah,
we'll see you guys next time.